and welcome everybody. My name is Larry Stybel, and I am the chair of the Alumni Affairs Committee of the First Generation Harvard Alumni Association. This is our first Networking is Your Net Worth webinar, and I'd like to explain what the process is going to be. I'm going to give a very short presentation focusing on your career. And then what we're going to do is we're going to break you into teams of 4 each. And then you're going to go around the room and you're going to react to the program that I gave. Then you're going to get to know each other. You're going to have time to get to know each other and increase your network, which is really the heart of this program. Then we're going to come back together. Did anybody come up with anything interesting, worthy of sharing? Then we're going to have a part called Needs, Deals, and Wants. And in Needs, Deals, and Wants, how can we be a resource to you? What do you need? What are you looking for? What do you want? And then finally, I'm going to ask you for your feedback about the process and that we use. Do you want to see us to continue this? Would you like us to change it? We're here to serve you on the committee. So in order to get some value out of this program, what I'd like you to do is to get yourself a piece of paper and a pen, because you'll be going to be writing down things. And later on, when you're in groups, you're going to be writing down names of people. So you want to be able to have a piece of paper and a pen near you. The question is, how do you introduce yourself? In about 10 minutes, you're going to be broken into groups, and you're going to have to introduce yourself. What do you do for a living? Who are you? Who are you? So what I'd like you to do is assume that in 10 minutes, you'll be meeting 3 strangers, and they will ask you, what do you do for a living? Write down what you would say in response to that question now. Please write it down, and when you're finished, raise your hand. By the way, if you could, put on your camera so I can see your faces. That'd be great. Thank you. Hello, Moonlit. Nice to see you. Oh, there we are. Do you all see this? Does
I
everybody?
figured I could go ahead and
Yes.
do it for you. So here you go.
Okay, great. So I'm going to do, how do I do, can you, next slide? Okay, so that, next slide. Now, what's the right balance? What's the right balance in responding to tell me about yourself? On one hand, you don't want to be boring. On the other hand, you don't want to be unprofessional. How do you find the right balance between being boring and being unprofessional? One of the problems that I see is when somebody says, I'm a lawyer, I'm an accountant, I sell life insurance, I'm a counselor. I've already met so many people in those professions. I have an image of what that means. And frankly, I'm not interested anymore. I don't want to I've met enough lawyers, I've met enough accountants, I've met enough bookkeepers. What's going to get me interested in you? On the other hand, how do you say something about yourself that's not going to be unprofessional? So that's what we're discussing in this program. Next slide. The first way, there are 2 ways that you can deal with the tell me about yourself question. The first is to focus on a paradox, and the second is to focus on what makes you special, unique, and only you. My experience with business people is they think of themselves as great problem solvers. There's not a problem in the world they can't solve. What business people are not very good at is paradoxes. Difference between a problem and a paradox is a problem has a correct solution. A paradox is a choice between two or more options, and they're all bad. And or two things that seem to be contradictory. That's a paradox. And so if you can find some sort of paradox that describes you, that will help you stand out and people will lean towards you and say, "What? Tell me more." Next slide. So here's an example. Um, if I'm just going to be regular, I might say I'm an investment advisor. If I want to focus on a paradox, I work with people who have difficulty trusting others, yet they need to put their trust in someone who knows more about investment than they do. So the paradox is trust versus mistrust. Next slide. One of the things that I do in my company is C-suite level outplacement. We're hired by companies to help manage the careers of people who've just been fired. But if I say I do outplacement, people just immediately slot me as just another outplacement person. They've seen enough outplacement people, they're not interested. So I say I work with leaders who have to fire their friends. Do you hear the paradox? Firing a friend. Again, that's something that makes people say, "What? Tell me more." So that's focusing on a paradox. Next slide. Next slide. Um, I could say I'm a personal injury attorney. In other words, I work with people who have been injured on the job. Uh, and but another one is, well, I'm an attorney. The time to call me is as you fall. Do you hear the paradox? The time to call is as you fall. Next slide. Now it's your turn. Try to think about what paradox do you work with in your work? I have somebody who is an estate planning and probate attorney, and what she says is, I'm an attorney that brings death and taxes to life. Again, the paradox is death and life. Write down how you would describe a paradox that you work with. Doesn't have to be perfect. Just give it a shot. Write it down. Okay, next slide. Now, the second way of introducing yourself is not to deal with the paradox, but what makes you unique, what makes you special, what makes you different. Really drilling down to something very, very special about what you do. Next slide. For example, instead of saying, I'm an investment manager, you might say, I have expertise in working with young high-tech professionals with their stock options. So really focus, focus, focus. Next slide. Again, I could say I do outplacement services. That would be the general thing. If I really want to focus on what makes me unique, we are the only outplacement service that proactively introduces our job candidates to board directors. So narrow, 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 very focused. Next slide. Oh no, go back. I'm an estate planning attorney. Yeah. So instead of saying I'm an estate planning attorney, I understand the special needs of people in the LGBT community. So very, very focused. Next slide. Instead of saying, I provide home mortgage loans through my bank, I'm not affiliated with any institution, so I can shop around for the best opportunities for your next mortgage loan. What makes you unique? What makes you special? So try that. If you're going to be introducing yourself. What do you do that's very unique, very special, differentiates you from others? Write it down. Okay. Next slide. Now we get to the heart of this meeting, which is really to grow your professional networks. And so we're going to break you up into teams of 4. And what you're going to do is you're going to go around the room and you're going to introduce yourself first, the generic way to introduce yourself. Then what did you write down for your paradox? What did you write down for your unique value proposition? And the rest of the 3 of you, try to help that person. Try to better understand that person. Can you help that person introduce themselves more effectively? Also, try to get that person's email. Try to get the spelling of their name so you can reach out to them on LinkedIn after this meeting. Then go around to the next person and do the same thing, and the next person, and the next person. We'll give you 30 minutes. I am, again, I'm sort of lost here about how to break out the groups here. Paula, can
I
you
got
help
it.
me?
I got it. Yeah.
Got it?
Just let me know when you're ready for the breakout rooms and I've
Okay,
got it.
ready for the breakout rooms. 30 minutes. Get to know each other. This is the heart of the program. Paula, if you could run the breakouts.
Yep. They're being run.
And then are people broken up?
Yeah, everybody but 2 people have gone in.
Okay. I had pressed the record button and now I notice it's not recording.
It shows me that it's recording. I think
Okay.
it looks like you're gonna record and it's gonna be on your computer. So you're gonna own the recording because you pressed the recording.
Could you put it on hold? Because there's no need to record now. And then when